What's up, guys? How's it going? Today I have a follow-up video to the Final Fantasy 2006 versus 2016 video which I did, which has amassed over 40k views at the time of this recording. Now I do sound a bit weird today. It's because I have got a slight cold, so you know I'm all blocked up and stuff. So apologies if I sound a bit weird, but I really wanted to record this video. So, as we all know, if you've seen the video, which you probably have, you can see that there is a massive difference between Final Fantasy Versus 13 and Final Fantasy 15. You know, obviously back in 2006 when it was announced, it was known as Final Fantasy Versus 13, and now it's 15. There is some clear differences. Now, the gameplay which was shown for Final Fantasy Versus 13 is a mix of well, I think it is all real-time gameplay. Obviously it's all prototype kind of gameplay and stuff like that. So just to quickly compare the gameplay between the two, I'm gonna have to say Versus 13 actually looks a lot more what I prefer, honestly. I'm probably gonna get shot for saying this, but I actually prefer the look and feel of the gameplay in Versus 13 compared to 15, just a little bit. The main reason for this is mainly down to the fact that everything looks a lot smoother, the characters don't look so heavy, the camera is way more zoomed out, which I prefer. I don't like the really zoomed in camera of 15, even though it is like quite dynamic and stuff like that. But it is more Kingdom Hearts like, I suppose, and that is where 15 excels in the fact that it's more like the combat in 15 has more of its own personality, and that is why overall 15 is probably will probably have the better gameplay. But I did like the concept that was in the first 13 trailer. But as you can see, the gameplay has evolved tremendously. Like, it's not even funny. The gameplay has just come a long way from that one trailer which came out, and it's just good. Now, in terms of the graphics between the two games, now this might be a bit of an unfair comparison considering one was on last gen technology and one's on current gen, and considering that was a prototype. Obviously there are some pretty drastic differences between the two. Final Fantasy 15 looks freaking gorgeous. Like, it actually looks like one of the most gorgeous 3D games on the PS4 and Xbox One right now. Honestly, I love the look of it. But then, looking at Versus 13, it looks good, right? I prefer the look of Versus 13 compared to normal 13, to be honest with you. Even though it was just prototype footage, it does look really, really nice, considering the platform that it was on. Sure, it looks a bit basic in some areas, but then, like I said, it was from like a really early version of the game. Therefore, you know, not everything was finished and not everything was done. That's just a normal thing in game development. But the graphics between the two are completely different. It's not really a fair comparison at all. But you can see that they've come a long way in terms of the art direction as well. They've come a long way from where they started. A lot of the stuff looks the same. So in the pre-rendered cutscenes, you've got Noctis. Like the very first one, we got Noctis fighting the army outside the citadel and stuff like that. You know, all that CGI trailer pretty much looks worse than Final Fantasy 15 on the PlayStation 4 running, like, without any pre-rendered stuff. That's a massive improvement. It's just the graphics are just good. Final Fantasy 15's graphics are just like, they're just mind-blowing. They're really good. One thing, now I know this is more of a gameplay focused video in terms of comparison, but I also wanted to mention about Stella. This is old news now, but for those who didn't know, obviously, well, it's blatantly obvious, Stella is not in Final Fantasy 15 and was replaced by Luna. Now I'm going to get shot for this, but Luna is just a better character. I think her design is much better. Don't shoot me for that, but that's what I think. I wasn't entirely fussed by Stella not being in 15. To be honest, is it really a big deal? Obviously, between the change of, like, the transition between Final Fantasy Versus 13 and Final Fantasy 15, there was a change in director. Tetsuya Nomura, who was originally, you know, working on Versus 13, was then replaced by Tabata, who had worked on Type 0 and stuff like that, and he had, like, now he's the guy that's working on 15 and is kind of has really helped, has been like the driving force which has been going towards the game's completion. Honestly, if we still had Tetsuya Nomura on board with 15, we'd still be waiting another 10 years for this game, because that just seems to be the way with his games. You just kind of wait forever for them and they never come out. Kingdom Hearts, sorry. But I do think that the change in director really helped 15. Some people think Nomura was, you know, the crowning glory of Versus 13. Honestly, I'm great that someone else took it over, because now the game is actually coming out. I mean, I love Nomura to bits. I love the way he does his games, but you know, I think Tabata had his time to shine with 15, and it has really come out. Like, Tabata is a really talented game developer by the looks of it, considering the amazing job that he's done with 15. So yeah, I think the change in director was definitely a worthwhile one. Right, so something else which was blatantly obvious in the Versus 13 trailers was that Prompto was indeed playable, and I think that goes for the rest of the characters as well, because that was the original vision for this title, was that everybody was going to be playable, like in that main crew, and that everybody was actually on the field at the same time and all that. Clearly in Final Fantasy 15 it is only possible to control Noctis, although you can have some control during battle over your like the other crew members, so you can kind of, you know, have a say in how they perform attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, that is one major big change. Personally, I would have liked to have seen different playable characters, because that's just a thing, that's just an RPG norm thing, you know, that's just something that is in most RPGs. But either way, I'm not too fussed, it's not a big deal. One thing that has constantly changed, and this just isn't in like the transition between Versus 13 to 15, is the user interface, or the UI. It seems like Tetsuya Nomura has some kind of like hard-on for doing this thing in the UI, where you can see, oh, this is back in the 2006 days and early Kingdom Hearts 3 days, where you can see the character moving in the UI. Like when you can see Noctis and Co fighting in the Versus 13 trailer, you can see their little avatar moving in the bottom right corner of the screen, and that goes with Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, where you can see Sora like moving in the pre-rendered cutscenes. This changed completely in the transition to 15, which is now just more simpler like text boxes with the names and the HP and stuff in it. Actually, to be fair, that changed a lot. The UI changed a lot during 15's life cycle, in development cycle. So yeah, they really like changing the UI, but then I can relate, because I do that with my own game. So yeah. And in terms of that level, the level set in Insomnia in the Versus 13 trailer, I'm not too sure whether that level actually still exists in 15 anymore. I highly doubt it, but you know, we'll have to wait until next month. Yes, that's right, next month, when we finally get our hands on this long-awaited game. All the stuff in the original trailers for Versus 13 are kind of in the 15 universe, but I don't think that Insomnia level is anymore, but I don't know. So there you have it, guys. These are the main differences between Final Fantasy 15 and Versus 13. Obviously this is old news. I could have done this video like a couple of years ago and it would have been better, but I just thought I'd do it anyway, because why not? I wanted to follow up that really cool video with all the views, so you know, that's kind of what I do. So personally, 15 is looking better than obviously Versus 13. Obviously, there are some aspects to Versus 13 which I definitely do prefer, but I'm not too fussed, you know, that 15 is the way it is. What do you guys think? Did you prefer Versus 13, or do you prefer Final Fantasy 15? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you too fussed about Stella not being in the game anymore? Because I know there's probably a few people that are still annoyed by this. Once again, let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, favourite, all that good stuff, and I shall speak to you all later on.